had a client jump on a call the other day and her energy was just frenetic. She'd been having some challenges with team members and people not coping, etc. And things weren't going super well. We get stressed in those environments. And if I can feel the energy of my client through our coaching call, so can her team. For her, the way that this is showing up, it feels frantic for her team members. They don't know what's coming next. They always feel like they're braced for something to come up. And when I reflected this back to her, firstly, she was genuinely confused because she thought she was managing really, really well. Even though she had a lot going on, she thought she was keeping it internalized. For most of us, we think when we're dealing with a lot of stress and lots of things going on, and we've been doing it for a long time, it's become our normal, and we think that we're doing okay with keeping it internally. This client was the same. She thought she was doing a pretty good job of keeping it inside, managing her stress well, and not showing it. Like, I'm not even talking to them about it. But the thing is, she wasn't showing it. She was transmitting it in everything she did. Those are two really different things. And that difference matters enormously for a business that's supposed to run without you one day. There's a body of research that I find myself coming back to constantly in this work, and it comes from Deb Dana and Stephen Porges. It's called the polyvagal theory. It sounds very clinical, but the practical application is actually pretty simple and pretty confronting. As a general rule, the most regulated person in the room leads everyone else's nervous system. Not necessarily the most senior, nor the loudest, the most regulated. And the person whose baseline state is calm and predictable and safe is the person whose nervous system sets the temperature for everyone else's, automatically, without anyone consciously choosing it. You've got to remember, inside your business and probably inside your family as well, you are one of the nervous system regulators. You probably do a lot of the nervous system regulation at home, and you probably do it in your business as well, without even recognizing it. And we, as a family unit, have recognized that we co-regulate to each other. We all do it in family settings, in team settings, in wider community settings, wherever you're gathering in groups of people, whether that be in person or online, you are regulating to the energy of the room, to everybody in the room. And so if there's really heightened emotions, everyone's going there. And we know that inside my family, particularly over the last couple of years, I've got far better at communicating when I know I'm feeling dysregulated. Why? Because perimenopause has had me dysregulated all the time. But previously, I just would have stayed quiet about it, got on with it. In perimenopause, I've gone, this is not me. It is me, but it's not me. And communicated, hey, I'm feeling this way today more than I should be. There's not anything that's going on that should be creating that feeling, that emotional state. I'm just feeling dysregulated, and communicating that to my family so that they can help me become more centered and grounded on those days. Now, here's the thing, inside your business, that's happening too. If at home everyone's regulating to me, and then I come to business and everyone's regulating to me, if I have a really hard morning leaving the house with the kids, lost uniforms, lunchboxes we can't find, backpacks, and I'm trying to get 3 humans. I don't know how many humans you've got. I just had 1. But if you had 3, say, try and get them out the door, and it was a chaotic morning, and by the time you get to your first meeting of the day, whether that be with an employee, a contractor, a customer, you're already at a heightened emotion. You're already vibrating at a level that people are going to pick up on before you even walk in the room. And so we have to know about this and recognize this in terms of our business. Because if we can be aware of this, if we can use this wisely in our business and help our team members use this wisely, it's going to change so much inside your business. You're not always going to be the most regulated person in the room. That expectation to hold that all the time would be too much. Understanding that that's what happens, though, is super important. That doesn't mean that just because you own it, that you'll be the most regulated. It's going to be something that you're going to practice and think about in terms of your business. Without anyone consciously choosing it, they're going to choose the person who feels the safest to set the temperature for everybody else's. Let's hold this alongside your reality, your business rhythm, the pace at which you operate, the predictability of your communication, the consistency of your availability, the emotional tone you bring to your team and your clients and your household is being read by every person you come into contact with, not consciously. The way every nervous system reads the room constantly, automatically, and with more accuracy than any of us could put into words, it's really important that we know about that, because that means that your business rhythm is currently transmitting a baseline. What is your business rhythm currently transmitting? Is it a business that lurches between get shit done panic and total silence, between frantic, all hands output and complete depletion? That rhythm is being felt like everyone that comes into contact with you. Your children doesn't know that it's business related. They just know mum is in a different register right now, and they don't know when she's coming back. Your team doesn't record high output 6 weeks. They record instability. And they start making decisions based on what they think you need rather than what the business actually needs. Because the signal from the top, which is us, is completely erratic. Here's what makes this more than just a casual leadership observation. That erratic rhythm is really expensive. The recovery from each surge and crash cycle takes way longer than the surge actually produced. So the effort that you put in to get that surge of output, the crash kills all of that momentum that you had. The team decisions that are made from that instability cost you way more than decisions made from that really steady signal. If you think about it in terms of your business, if you have a look back over your years in business and go, how have we moved forward? When have we made our most consistent progress? If you went back and tracked it against how you were showing up, you'll see that it's often in line with you. When you were at your most constant, your most regular, you felt the most psychologically safe to your team. And so things were consistent, things were moving forward, things were doing well. Whenever you've tried to do things in that surge and bust cycle, you'll notice that the momentum falls out of it. It's also really not sustainable. It's why any of those kind of marketing pieces around launch and close and launch and close and launch and close that require a huge amount of effort to sell and then a huge amount of effort to deliver when you really need to be recovering from the launch is not ever going to be sustainable. Not only that, that transmits all the way through all of the places that you touch. And the most important one is probably in your parenting and your home. That frenetic energy, if they're feeling instability and surge and boom and bust in your business, you're probably taking that into your home. And you'll have periods of where home feels steady and fabulous, and then you'll have times where it feels frenetic and then it's crashing and everyone's exhausted and tired and you're dealing with that side of it as well. This might be sounding a little bit familiar. We want to think about how can we start to look at how do we change this? We want to be more deliberate in how we create this rhythm. Inside Resonant Rhythm, as one of our accelerators, we have a whole bunch of tools that are helping you to put out this steady signal. Everything from how we're planning projects to how we're communicating to how we're meeting. One of the most important ones is the business heartbeat. And it's the intentional design of a pace that is predictable and sustainable for you and your team. It's not flat. A predictable business still has seasons and intensity periods. We talked about that in the last episode. That's absolutely okay. But a rhythm with a recognizable shape to allow for that is really important. One that people inside it can breathe around. One that signals this is a safe, led, consistent thing to be a part of. And when we get this right, something interesting really happens. Now our teams can make better decisions even when we're not in the room. Your customers and clients experience a different quality of confidence. And you start to discover that the sustainable pace held over time actually produces more than the surge and crash cycle you were running through before, because the crash was always more expensive than anyone was counting. When we talk about resonant rhythm, we're not talking about a scheduling conversation. It's a leadership conversation. It's the decision to stop transmitting panic as the default operating frequency of your business and replace it with something everyone inside it can actually function within, that allows for family seasons, business seasons, and also feels really consistent. It feels safe, it feels predictable, and all of a sudden your whole business starts to move with a level of momentum that you haven't felt before. That's the resonance flowing through your business. When we get this right, we don't even have to be there for this to work, because the resonance flows through everything you do. When you get the sustainable pace right, when you get the grounded, centered rhythm to it and you hold it over time, this will resonate through everything you do, and magic things will start to happen in your business. Because no longer will your team feel like they have to tense whenever you come back from learning something new. They won't have to tense anytime you walk into a meeting. They won't have to tense anytime you talk about launching something different or new or making a change. Instead, they'll be very, very sure that whatever you come in and bring to the table is going to be well thought through, and everyone inside it can actually function with it. And that's a huge difference. So resonant rhythm is far more than just how are we scheduling this business out, how are we planning out the year. It's about you and your team deciding to go, we're going to be the leaders in this space. We are going to be the most regulated people in this space. Because when we're constant, when we're grounded, when we're certain and calm, everyone comes to our level. Everyone that comes through the doors. That is absolutely going to create momentum in your business that will allow it to be built far beyond you and give not just your team and employees and contractors a safe space to come to work in, but a place where they feel like everything's moving in the right direction. Because now you're counting the costs of what happens when things crash and burn, instead of just the upside of when things go really well because everyone's frenetically working hard. Now we're actually evening that out and looking at the whole picture. It's time for Called It. My question today that they've picked out is, my team says everything is fine, but something really feels off and I can't put my finger on it. Where am I even going to start? So first thing is, you're right. There's two flags in here. The first one is, it's fine. If your husband asks you how you are and you say it's fine, should he just accept that at face value, or should he do something? He should probably do something. We both know when someone says they're fine, unless they're talking about the weather, it's a piece of communication that says way more than what it actually literally means. First thing is that word fine. Words matter. I would tune into that and recognize that that is not telling you that things are good. The second thing is, trust that feeling of it's off. The fact that you don't know what it is yet, you can't name it yet, doesn't mean you're wrong. It means there's some signal coming out from somewhere below the visible layer, which is completely okay. I would start not with the team, but with your rhythm. When a team says everything is fine and something is still feeling off, it's generally because us as the business owners have our nervous system transmitting something that the team don't know how to, or have learned not to name out loud, either from you or a previous employer or boss. And so they're not lying when they say they're fine, they're just giving you the answer they think you need. Because the signal that they're receiving from you, even unconsciously, is that naming what's really going on right now isn't going to be safe or useful for them or for you or for the business right now. Then the question becomes, isn't what's wrong with the team? The question then becomes, what am I currently broadcasting as the business owner? As a business, are we in a growth period? Are we in a high pressure season? Have you come back all hyped up and excited with lots of brand new ideas and going fast right out at front with all these new projects that you're throwing at everyone and expecting them to keep up without enough explanation? You and I are probably great at coming up with ideas, can execute on with them with 3 steps, but you've got some people on your team that need 10 or 20 or 30 steps explained to them before they start moving. When you're showing up in meetings, either in one-on-one or in team, are you actually physically present and mentally present? Or are you physically present, but your head is elsewhere? Something going on with the family, something going on elsewhere in the business. Because any of that stuff will show up and your team will feel all of it. They calibrate to all of that. And fine is what people say when they're functioning inside someone else's frenetic instability and have just got really used to it. They're unsure what the response is going to be. And so they've started giving you the answer they think you want to hear. It's their way of managing you, not giving you an answer that will help you solve a problem. Start by asking yourself, honestly. So much of this business journey is about the woman in the mirror. What is the pace and the tone of my business right now? And is it one that would make me feel safe if I was working inside it? And that's your starting point. You don't need to go and do a team audit or start doing a massive culture survey. Start with you first and your own signal first. And once you've made sure that the pace and tone of your business would feel safe if you were working in it, then you can move to the next step. Always the woman in the mirror first, always your signal first. This one might be a little tricky to do this week, but I want you to find the answer to this and be really honest with yourself about it. If you ask the person who works most closely with you, or maybe your partner or your oldest kid, to describe the pace of your business in one word, what do you think they'd say right now? You don't have to actually ask them, although you could, if you can just be honest about what the answer probably is. Next episode, we're looking at vision. Not the vision board kind, the kind where you actually know clearly and specifically what you're building and exactly why. It might be the episode where I ask you the question nobody else has thought to ask. Till next time, stay moxie.